the best settings for Destiny 2. Now, these settings are going to help you improve your FPS in-game, your PvP play, and overall just boost your in-game performance. Now, if you're on console, do not worry, these will also work for you. I'll have controller tips and just overall things that will help your in-game PvP play. I would highly advise taking some of these. They work really well for me, I can promise you that. Overall, they're super easy to do. I would like to make one announcement. Today's video is sponsored by U4GM. Do you need cheap Destiny 2 silver? Check out my link in the description below for a 5% discount. Also, make sure you're subbed to the channel and comment below for a chance to win 3,500 silver from U4GM. With all that said, we'll hop right into today's video. Now, I do currently play on mouse and keyboard. If you do play controller PC, that is totally fine. Do not worry. These tips will also work really well for you. For starters, I'll go over my settings. For video, I have windowed full screen. Now for resolution, I run 1920 x 1080. Now I do have a 1660 Ti graphics card, so it's a pretty decent graphics card overall. I do have VSync turned off. The reason why is because sometimes it's the other way around for people, but if you have VSync on and you notice screen tearing, turn it off, it will help. Now if you do notice screen tearing and you do have VSync off, then turn it on. It's very hit or miss for some reason, I don't know why. Now I do have frame rate cap off. The reason why you need frame rate cap off is because it caps your GPU, and overall it just affects performance. You want to make sure that you can get the highest frames possible, and capping it's going to limit your frames, and overall it's a lot easier, trust me. Now for frame rate cap, I'm capped at 200, but field of view, you want to make sure that you have this maxed to 105. The current setting for field of view when you first log on console is 75. Now, it's pretty low. You want to up it all the way to 105. Now, this does not take any VRAM whatsoever. Screen bounds, these are my screen bounds. Also, other important settings that I'll show you guys are going to be the adjust brightness. I play on 4 brightness. I don't know how people play on 7. It's so weird. For graphics quality, make sure you have it on custom. If you put it on highest, it takes a lot of your VRAM and it's not really needed. Just put it on custom. For anti-aliasing, put SMAA. This is really good. It renders the game faster so you won't have as much stuttering. For screen space ambient occlusion, have that off. You don't want it. For texture atrocity, you want to have it on ×4. Now, what this will do is it will take away the blur from your character and just make it look a lot better even if you're running low settings. Now, for texture quality, I have it on low. I can run medium or highest. It does take a good amount of your RAM, but overall, I don't see a reason. I don't know as much of a difference on low, so I just run low. Now, I have all my other settings on low, shadow quality low, depth of field on low, as well as environment details low, character detail distance low. I think you guys get the main point. I have wind pulse and motion blur off. If you play on motion blur, turn it off right now. I promise you, it will improve your gameplay so much more. Now with these settings, I'm averaging around 290 to 300 frames. This is really good. This is ideally what you want. If you do have a low-end PC, you can still definitely get 120, 150 frames on low settings. Render resolution, you do not need any more than 100. If you up it all the way to the highest you can, it takes a lot of your RAM and it's just not needed. Render resolution isn't that important overall, I find. You can completely lower it all the way to 100. There's no need to have it any lower. I have A-share off. I don't find a reason to really have it on. It doesn't take much RAM. It's all preference, to be honest. Chromatic aberration, have that off, and film grain off. It just makes your game look really bad. Now, for sound, these are my volume settings. For gameplay, colorblind, Trintopia, yellow, blue. This really helps your colorblind mode. It just makes the game looks more saturated. Have your radar on high. You can have it on full default too. It doesn't really make much of a difference. This is gonna really improve your game too. Text chat is on. You need to have text chat on. If you don't know what text chat does, it allows you to actually type. So as an example, you could say hello. If you are in a trials game and you need to communicate with your teammate, just say something like Cab Zone A, something like that. It just overall helps your in-game performance, communicating with your fire team. But if you don't have text chat on, I'd advise to turn that on. For controller and keyboard and mouse sensitivity, I run 6 keyboard and mouse sensitivity. Now, credit to ZK Mushroom because I am actually using his settings. The only difference is I use 0.6 ADS modifier because I don't really see a reason to run 0.8. I feel like 0.8 is just, there's no difference between 0.6 and 0.8, but overall, I prefer 0.6. You can mess around with the ADS. I wouldn't go anywhere above than 1.0 to be honest, but I like 0.6. For look sensitivity, it's very crucial to run 6. I think that 6 on 800 DPI is really well. Now, if you do not know how to turn your DPI on, what you need to do is actually go into your mouse settings, depending on the type of brand mouse you have. If you don't have a brand of mouse, or you just don't know what it is, or it doesn't have a downloading software, you want to go onto your actual Windows settings, and you should be able to turn down the Windows modifier and lower your DPI settings. Don't have vertical inversion on, don't have horizontal inversion. You want aim smoothing on. This will really help hit more shots, and it will overall make your gunplay a lot more consistent than what you need. For my default binds, I use WASD for move forward, of course, and right. Finisher playload, you want G, and then emote 1 I have on just the switches. You don't really need emotes because you don't want to be toxic. Return to orbit, I have on O, I don't know why. Fire, these are all my mouse and keyboard settings. To be honest, I don't really see a difference in anything like that. For toggle sprint, I have on control. Hold crouch, I have on shift, which is really important. Make sure you have shift binded to hold crouch or toggle. Doesn't really matter. Now for class ability, I have set on E, jump, spacebar, of course. Toggle zoom, left, and shoot obviously is right. Now, one thing that I find really helped me, I have my switch to kinetic weapon binded as my middle mouse button, scroll wheel, and then on my top left mouse, I actually have it bind to shoot, so obviously switch energy weapon, does not matter. I actually have to fix that because that was a big mistake there, but yeah. Now, switch to power weapon, I just use the default 3 keybind, I don't see why else. Zoom, I've set to left. Boost, I've set to the left as well. Brake, you want to have shift and exit vehicle and all that, but those settings don't really matter. Now for controller, what you're going to want to do is set your look sensitivity to 20. Now I know if you do play something like 10, trust me, upping your game to 20 is going to make a huge difference, even something like 15. Like if you play 10, up it to 12, play for a day, up it to 14, 16, 18, 20 over time. Now ADS, I still run 0.6. If you're on controller, I think ADS is very crucial, so I run 0.6. Now, make sure you don't have any of these inverted as it's not really needed. Auto look centering, I have on, sprint turn scale 0.8, and controller vibration off. If you play controller vibration, just turn that off. Do me a favor. And then double press delay, do not have this to 5. If you have this to 5, put it to 1. And trust me on that, it will improve your game like by a huge amount. Now, for gameplay, obviously I showed you guys, nothing too crazy, but 2 mods that you're going to want. If you are running Hunter, have 10 mobility, 10 recovery, and honestly, 100 intellect isn't really needed. I still run it, but you could obviously invest this intellect into something like resilience. What I will be doing is using powerful friends. This gives you plus 20. Now, there are 2 crucial mods if you're shotgunning. Have powerful friends. The next mod is going to make a huge difference. Quick charge. This mod gives you 20 plus handling for shotguns. So if you have something like a CQC with quick draw snapshot, it is going to improve your game a lot because you're going to get that 20 plus handling, so you are maxed out on handling with the CQC, which is insane. Now, I also am going to be running Ace of Spades and all that. Now, if you're running my Night Stalker, I'm using Spectral Blades with Gambler's Dodge, Strafe Jump. You can also use Triple Jump, but I have Snare Bomb, Vortex Grenade. Now, if you're wondering my aspects, these are the aspects I'm using. Vanishing Step's really good. Now, the 3 other fragments I'm using is Echo of Dilation, 10 plus mobility, 10 plus intellect. While crouch, you sneak faster and gain enhanced radar resolution. Then I'm using Echo of Dominating. This is going to give you 10 plus discipline. And then I'm using Echo of Explosion. This is really useful. Overall, you want to focus on your stats. Now, if you don't have Void 3.0, you can always use Stasis. For some reason, I don't have Beyond Light. I have no clue why that is, but I do. That's very strange. I actually have to look into that after this video. But overall, for exotics, Stompies or Dragon Shadow or even Omnioculus works out really fine. These are my Omnioculus builds that I use. You want highest strength as possible. Obviously, I could take some of that, and I like to put that into strength. For my Dragon Shadow, I have a really nice build, but yeah. These are all the builds I run if I'm not using Stompies. Lucky Pants will be also really nice in the future, obviously, for like next season and all that because of the in-air changes. Now, if you don't have a good CQC, Fell Winners is obtainable from the vault. Do not question my kills in the comments with it. Another shotgun I find is good on controller, Sojourner Stealth, but where I use most on keyboard, I prefer the Fell Winners or Found Verdict or even... To be honest, 7th Seraph works fine, but Palindrome is really nice. Same with Fractus with Quick Draw Opening. But these are my builds that I use on PC that I think really improve your game. Now, if you're on console, just copy these controller settings. They will come super, super clutch. Trust me on that. But if you found this video helpful or informative anyway, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. I hope to see you guys in my next videos. Like always, have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching.